Welcome to the course of Project Management. This course is all about Project Management Certificate with Prince2 and Prince2 Agile. It's an introduction part. This course is level 1 in Project Management and it's not complete to Prince2 or Prince2 Agile Foundation exams. So this course provides overview of career option in project management industry. We are providing you level 1 certificate in your first attempt at the end of this course or video tutorial. This course is all about the basics and foundation of project management. Overview of Agile means it's working including Scrum, Kanban and Lean Startup and more, which we're gonna discuss it later in this video course. This certificate helps you to get a new job, advanced career in your present field. We are introducing the major concept of Prince2 Prince2 Agile, including 7 principles, 7 themes, and 7 processes of project management. At the end of this course, we're gonna discuss about the career options, different certification within the Prince2 and Prince2 Agile in the industry. Prince2 is the world's most widely adopted project management method in the present world. Now let's look about Prince2 and project management. Before going to this introduction, let me introduce about project. Project is simply always for a short duration of time. For example, take a case of a car manufacturing unit. In order to manufacture a car, which includes body, tires, electrical fittings, mechanical engines, so in order to complete these all tasks, there will be departments to complete the task in a given period of time. If you are in IT, Agile can be used for projects and business as usual, but Prince2 and Prince2 Agile can be used only for projects. So now, Prince2 is a procedure-based technique and structure for project management. So what is project management? Project management is the practice of initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and closing the work of a team to achieve specific goals and meet specific success criteria at the specific time. The primary challenge of project management is to achieve all the project goals within the given constraints or a given time. Now about ourselves, we are Blue Mango Global. Blue Mango Global provides services in software, overseas education and immigration consultancy. We are tied with YouTube channel Certificate Code Factory. We are having team member experience in software project holding hands with Australia, United States of America, UK, Irish, German, UAE and Indian clients for more than 5 years. At present, we are doing project for United States, Australia and for India. So you are in safe hands as we have an experienced team teaching you in this video tutorial. And this is the certification of project management as we discussed earlier, and we are accredited training organization. We provide support at our Gmail email accounts and as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. As you can see on the screen, you can get the email account of ours. All the content and the source which is provided in this video tutorial will be under registered license. You can get support at Facebook, search Blue Mango Global, as you can send a message at any time through a messenger and we will respond it as quick as possible. The rest of the course is concentrating more about project management. As we discussed earlier, what is a project? A project is a temporary task that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business products according to an agreed upon business case at particular time period. Project management is temporary, performed by a team. It can be easy, difficult, and even complex based on the task and last, it's a degree of uncertainty. Project management is of Prince2 and Prince2 Agile. Prince2 is more predictive or a waterfall method. Prince2 Agile is about agile methods. Based on the project result and the risk of project, you have to choose which life cycle of project type which you have to be considered, whether it is a Prince2 or a Prince2 Agile. Now, take a look about Waterfall Method or a Prince2. Predictive or waterfall method is much more traditional. It is very linear, sequential approach. As you can see on the screen, it is a step of process starting from analysis, design, implementation, testing, and at last maintenance. That's how the life cycle goes for a waterfall method. If in case, take a look about software development life cycle. So the cycle starts from request for proposal and it goes from there to requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, deploy, production support. At the last it goes to the project clearance and maintenance. That's how a software project lifecycle goes in case of a waterfall method. Next is Agile lifecycle approach. In Agile, we can improve and modify the present work or a previous project. Customer can immediately use after finishing the product or while doing the project. For example, if I am doing a software app or a mobile app, while doing the project, I can go for testing via test flight or a test build to the customer or a client. So they can easily test it straight away and they can provide a feedback quicker. In Agile, we're gonna discuss about Scrum, Kanban and Lean Startup approach. In Agile, we can develop the product within short period of time, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or a year. Both predictive and agile methods have their own benefits. Predictive method is very linear and sequential, but it's traditional. For example, building a house, in such cases they are predictive. It's a traditional method of project. In Agile, it's very fast, rapid moving and easy to change. For example, building a website or an app, a software project or a software services. That's all in section 1. Join me in section 2 of this course to learn more about predictive methods and agile methods. So in the section 2, we will take a look deep more about the project management, which includes 7 principles, 7 themes and 7 processes of project management. Stay tuned. Welcome to section 2 of project management. In this lesson, we're gonna discuss about the 7 principles, 7 themes, 7 process and at last the project management process, which includes in the project management. Take a look at live projects. Some of the question arises, why did this project succeed? Why did this project fail? There is a common thing between them. The best term is best practice. The term best practice is secret behind the success. If the project is having 7 principles, the project seems to be successful. If we miss one or more of these principles, then the project is more likely to be failed. So now we will take a look at what are these 7 principles. Take a look at 7 principles. They are continued business justifications, learn from experience, defined roles and responsibilities, manage by stages, manage by exception, focus on products, and at last modify to suit the project environment. These are the 7 principles behind a project success. Now we will look more about these 7 principles. The first one is continued business justifications. They are nothing but make sure the project remains desirable, viable and achievable. So when we take a look about the advantages gained, they are reduced cost, time, risk, more benefits or improved quality. In this, there's other advantages of continued business justification. If you're taking a look at the disadvantages, it The facts are the cost, duration option, maybe the risk of option. So we need to balance these, both the facts like advantages and disadvantages. If we have more advantages, are they continue, we're more likely to continue, otherwise we need to close or shut down the project. The second one is learn from experience. So it's nothing but recognize the need to learn from mistakes and accidents that happen during the project. The key concept is learn where we made mistake and reconstruct not to repeat them. For example, when we are making a mobile application to purchase alcohol or beer through online, suppose such application is releasing in highly populated country like India, there will be more than 50,000 users to 1 million users at a time. Due to the heavy traffic, the application may hang or even crash, or maybe even too slow at the moment. In such case, we should make proper steps to handle such issue in an application or via the database. This is for the experience. We must think about these negative things don't happen again, and we could resolve them in the next project. The third principle is define roles and responsibilities. Each and every team member in a project should have or know about their role and responsibility. For example, if you are a team manager, make sure that what have to be done in your project from start to end or until the end of the project. Another example is in a software project, a UI designer designs the UI for the assigned project. And in another case, a programmer start designing the same in the project and then start coding accordingly. This have to be done in ample time. In other case, if a team member is having more work, don't try to assign him with more, instead try to find another person. For example, like I'm going and asking to a Python developer whether you can do this project. He is saying that no, I don't have enough time. Then please don't assign to him. Try to find another person. As a project management, I should keep in mind that the team member is having enough time and capability of doing such task or project. Then the fourth point is manage by stages. Stage the project from larger to smaller pieces. Break the project smaller at each stage so that what we are expecting at the end we could know even better. We could calculate the time and source required for that particular project. That's what we mean by manage by stages. We're gonna break the larger project into smaller pieces. The fifth stage is manage by exception. Only significant deviations from a budget or approach plan are brought to the attention of management. What does that mean? So I would say, for example, suppose a team member in your project need to change the mouse or a keyboard of your computer. He need to ask permission or request from middle to top authorities for his equipment change. Instead, take the right decision from your side and solve the problem within ourselves or within our team. That's what it means. The next one is focus on products. Successful product delivery leads to the project's benefits being realized. What does it mean? For example, if I build a website but it is incomplete, then the user can't be used completely. Take an example of a website which is finished from top to end and gets the expected output is mean by focus on products. And the last one is modify to suit the project environment. Prince2 can be adopted to meet the needs of produce or project. For example, not all products are built in the same cultural level. For example, another example like the product or a project which is assigned in United States and India, we have to make necessary changes in the product based on the cultural difference. Another example is cloth manufacturing in China and Europe. So there will be a different manufacturing schemes and different labor charges in both countries. And at last, I need to mention about the risk of these principles. For example, when I want to build a house, I can go contract to construction company who have experience in this field for about 20 to 30 years. But if I want to customize my house or build a house in tree or a house in the middle of sea, I must consider those who have constructed such projects or even have an research experience in that particular field. Next, we're gonna discuss is 7 themes. So these 7 themes we're gonna apply in 7 process. So what are these 7 themes? They are nothing but business case, organization, quality, plans, risk, change, and at last the progress. So we will take a look about these 7 themes in deep. The first one is business case. To ensure project outcomes are achieved and its benefits are being realized. So business case consider facts like does the project worth, how much does it cost, how much time it's gonna take, and what are the benefits. If there is a good balance in the benefit, cost, and time, then initiate the project. Otherwise, cancel the project. The second one is organization. Defines the project organizational structure and goals. The project board, the project manager, team member, each have a different roles and responsibilities. The next one is quality. Defines a product quality approach. Does the project having good quality, whether the output meet the specific or required targets. These are the facts coming in the quality. The next one is plans. Creating different levels of plans to facilitate communication and control from the different perspectives of the project organization. So in this, different levels of planning for different types of tasks. That's what it means. The next one is risk. Defines the risk management approach and ensures that project risks are identified, assessed, and controlled. So, risk management is a process which starts from identify, assess, plan, implement, communicate, and goes back to the identification, the first level. The next one is change. Defines the change control approach and ensures that the issues are captured, assessed, and controlled. It's nothing but change the product assets or design based on your requirements. And the last one is progress. Defines the way that the project progress is measured and compared to performance targets. For example, like some organization measures progress based on how much money is invested towards the specific goal. Other organizations measures how much product is developed and others based on work output. So these are the 7 themes we're gonna apply in 7 process. 7 themes is completed. Let's move to the next 7 process. The next we're going to discuss is the 7 processes of project management. So they are starting a project, initiating a project, directing a project, controlling project, managing a stage boundary, managing product delivery, and at last closing a project. So we will take a look about more into it. So first one is starting up a project. So to ensure that the prerequisites for the initiating a project are in the place of by determining if the project is viable and worthwhile. So nothing, we may be having different ideas while starting a project, but we gonna select only one of two at the end based on the priority of the demand in the market. Second one is initiating a project. To establish solid foundations for the project and to enable the organization to understand the work that need to be done to deliver the project's product before committing to a significant spend. What does it mean? So it's nothing but based on the customer or a team member among your project or a reviews, they may suggest that a particular product is going to be a cost worth or benefits of doing that proposed idea. Based on the market demand or the reviews, you're gonna take the decision. The third one is directing a project. To enable the project board to be accountable the project's success by making key decisions and exercising overall control while delegating day-to-day management of project. So it's all about the role of project manager. Directing a project is focused on decision making occurring at the project board level. So in simply we can say it's a decision making process in a project. The fourth one is managing a stage boundary. To enable the project manager to provide the project board with sufficient to determine if the project should continue to the next stage. So we need to ask the permission from the project board before going to the next stage. So it's based on that for the next stage whether we need to improve the present task or the stage, and also for the review the next level completed, which means like it will be a review what we have to done in the next stage. That's what it means. The fifth one is controlling a stage. To assign work to be done, monitor such work, deal with the issue, report progress to the project board, and take corrective actions to ensure the stage remains with tolerance. What does it mean? It's nothing but it's a project manager function, and it's a day-to-day work of a project manager. And sixth one is managing product delivery. To control the link between the product manager and the team managers by agreeing the requirements for acceptance, executing, and delivery. So a team manager role is to coordinate with all the roles that have to be done inside the team plan during the product process. A team manager must coordinate an area of work that will deliver one or more of the project's product. And the last one is closing a product or a project. To provide a fixed point at which acceptance for the product or a project product is confirmed, and to recognize that objectives set out in the original project initiating documentation have been achieved. So it's nothing that we have to check at the end whether we have met all our requirements in the project. The interesting thing is you don't have to wait until you have gone through all the stages to get to this phase. The last stage in project management is management processes. In Prince2, there are 26 distinct management products. We are not going to cover all 26 in this lesson. Instead, there are some which you need to know for your project management. This includes business case, checkpoint report, highlight report, project brief, project initiation document, project, product description, and the last one is work packages. We're going to discuss each and every one here. So the first one is business case, document that provides the justification for starting and continuing the project. It's nothing but mention the purpose of in the business documentation. So what we are going to do this project, that's what it means. The second one is checkpoint report that a team manager creates and sends to the project manager with the current status of their work and packages. So suppose, for example, if a board member comes and asks a question, what about the status of your project? So I am a team manager which should know about the present status of the project, so I'm gonna reply him, it's time-based control, here we are, these are the issues or the risk we have. That's how it works. So it helps to understand the current status of a project by the project board. The third one is highlight report that the project manager creates and sends to the project board with the current status of the stage plan. So this is all about a time-based control, and we're gonna send a report to the board that okay, this is stage we have, this is the present status of the project, this is here we are. That's what it means. The fourth one is project brief, ensures that the project has agreed upon and well-defined starting point. So it's nothing but it's a one-page document like these are the starting point and we have agreed to these stages, all that's all about. And the fifth one is project initiation document. It's main document of a project that describes the plan of approach for the project management. So it includes like project plan, detailed business case, risk management approach, quality management approach, communication management approach, project controls. These are all the facts which comes in the project initiation document. The sixth one is project product description. So it's about the details, exactly what the product or the project will deliver at the end. For example, if I am building a house, I should know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, or how many living rooms do we have. So do we have built with a cement, brick, or wood? These are the examples that I should keep in mind in project product description. The last one is work packages. It provides a team manager with the tolerance required for the product delivery. So example, I have work packages for electrical, I have work packages for plumbing. These are the cases of a construction contractor. It provides a level of control and team manager to know how many pipes or how many electrical equipments are needed in my construction field or in my project. That's what it means. So that's how the final product is created. So that's all in project management processes. Next is section 3. In this section, we're gonna discuss all about Agile and its framework. The framework includes Scrum, Kanban, and Lean Startup. Let's move into it. What is Agile? Agile addresses the new demands placed on delivery of software. Under the traditional predictive waterfall methods, consider project will take a month, 6 months, a year, or even 2 years to work on it and to deliver that project. But in Agile, things getting faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Nowadays in Agile, something new is always being released in every 2 weeks or in months. Agile can be used and applied to all industry with Prince2. Prince2 can be used to any project which we find. There are several frameworks in Prince2 Agile, like Scrum, Kanban, Lean Startup, and more. Take a look at waterfall development. This is a traditional form of project management. They are linear, serial based on time. Take a look at Agile development. In a year, we could make even 4 projects at the same time. So it's more output, better, cheaper, and faster than waterfall methods. They are iterative and incremental. Next is Agile Manifesto. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. Through the work we have come to a value. Take a look at Agile values. It's individual, our process, and tool interactions. In case of working software, it's over comprehensive and documentation. Agile is a time-based approach. Interactions happens with the team. Agile focus on responding on change. Things can change during the development of products. For example, the client is coming to you and saying for a website, "Oh, I don't like the color theme. Could you change that?" So even if we are at the middle of project or halfway to a project, we're gonna make changes necessarily. The closest thing we have to a single definition of Agile. So the first one is time-based approach, collection of technique, and Scrum. So take a look at time-based approach. Here the Agile break into stages and tasks are maintained at fixed time. The second thing is collection of techniques. We gather and collecting lots of techniques from different resources combined together and apply in our project. That's what it means. Agile is not just Scrum. Agile can be applied to non-IT situations or even non-IT projects. Examples are for marketing, to build a non-IT product like a food equipment. Agile is heavily flow-based working. This is work based on backlogs. Suppose if I have high priority or a item or a task, I'm gonna categorize them as sprint. These are the backlogs as you can in the screen. So in the next couple of days or next 2 weeks, I'm gonna work on those items which is having high priority, which is named as sprint backlog. Once they are complete or finished, we can pull those backlogs over to the next set of items, and this completed work will be shipped or committed those. On the screen you can see 12 different frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, Lean Startup, Lean, XP, SAFE, TAD, DSTM, Agile PM, DevOps, FDD, Graceful, ASD, like so. So among those, Scrum, Kanban, and Lean Startup is important, and we're gonna discuss about it. That's a really very important part inside Prince2 Agile project framework and Agile project management. So now what is Scrum? Scrum is Agile framework containing complex works. It's a collection of roles, events, and rules. They are faster and more efficient. Scrum was created by Schreiber and Sutherland in 1995. The core areas of Scrum is transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Some of the methods in Scrum are product backlog, Swarm, backlog, and increment. Scrum helps resolve the things better, cheaper, and faster, and even less risk. Because of that, a lot of Prince2 Agile is based on Scrum. The first method in the core area is transparency. Significant aspects of process must be visible to those responsible for the outcomes. It makes everyone visible what's going on inside a project from top to bottom. So a better decision or a better team can be made. That's what transparency means. Next is inspection. Users must frequently inspect artifacts and progress towards a sprint goal. It most related to the check the progress in the current project to make better, faster, and cheaper. The third one core area of Scrum is adaptation. Processes or materials should be adjusted as needed. Nothing is secret here, everything can be modified. The team which is working should be a self-organizing, cross-functional, flexible, creative, and productive. So there are different roles that have been achieved as a team. They are development team, product owner, and scrum master. The first one is development team. Consists of professionals who do the work to deliver a releasable increment of done products in each sprint. The second one is product owner, which is responsible for the maximizing the value of product resulting from the work of the development team. The last one is Scrum Master, is a servant leader who promotes and supports Scrum. Now, how does we work in Scrum? There are product backlog, sprint backlog, and final product or commit, your product or item. Product backlog, this is all about features, requirements, and all the fixes that is needed for the future release. In the sprint backlog, set of items from the present backlog which is having high priority and they have to be worked during the specific time box. The final product, when a product backlog items are completed, they can be delivered or shipped. If the product backlog items are completed during sprint, it's called increment. Next, we will check how to use Scrum. Using Scrum, we're gonna dive more deeper in Scrum in this lesson. We're gonna cover 5 events inside the Scrum. They are sprint, sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and at last, sprint retrospective. Let's take a look each of these. Sprint. Time box event with a duration of 1 month or less in which work is performed. These sprints are really focused on fixed time box. In traditional project management, we can flex the time box by shortening or lengthening. But in Agile frame Scrum, we can't. Every sprint is the same amount of time and you have to deliver a product by the end of that sprint. Now, we have discussed so many times about this backlog sprint. Now we will take a look of a real example or a real project which is having the sprint backlogs. As you can see on the screen, there are some backlogs which have been created by using Jira software. So this is a ticket or a backlog which I am having, and the priority is set to be medium. Take a look about another example. This is another backlog which is having the priority as high. So among this, I'm gonna choose this the priority which is having high, and that particular backlog I'm gonna work first. After completing this particular backlog, I'm gonna deliver this product, and then I will come back to the ticket or the item which is having the priority medium. That's how it works. The second one is sprint planning. It's time-based event with a duration of 8 hours or less per month in which the plan for the sprint is collaboratively created by the team. Here, sprint planning is focused on determining what kind of work the team is going to do and how the required work will be performed. Next we have is a daily Scrum. It's a time-boxed event with a duration of 15 minutes or less each day in which the status of the work completed and have to be completed is discussed. This daily Scrum also helps to identify the issues, risks, or challenges. It helps to finish the increment on time and at particular fixed budget. Next we have is sprint review. Informal meeting help to inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog. Sprint review is informal meaning and is not meant for status meaning. For example, if we have completed 5 backlog items, now we're gonna test it all of them or review those. Here we find one increment item failed during the test. So we're gonna ship the rest of our item and keep in mind it's time boxed. Then have a meeting. This meeting should be no longer than 4 hours per month of sprint. That's how it works. Next we have is sprint retrospective. It's used to create a plan for improvement to implement during the next sprint. This sprint retrospective happens after the sprint review but before the planning next sprint. For example, after sprint review, we team member including the product owner will have a meeting all together and discuss about the current project status or review. During this, we can make changes in the next sprint or learn lessons from our previous failed task. At most, this sprint retrospective should be no more than 3 hours meeting per month. Now take a look at the screen about which now what we discussed about Scrum process. First starts with the vision, which means actual product used by the users or the testers. Then user stories, which created product backlog based on user review. Sprint planning takes place, leads to a product backlog with sprint backlog, as you can see on the screen over here. With the sprint backlog, we're gonna work on it for 2 to 4 week sprint. It can be of 24 hours daily scrum as well, which gives the new functionality or the product. So the testers or the user will be testing all the new functionalities which we have produced, and based on that sprint review will be assessed, and then later on to sprint retrospective respectively. That's how it works. So that's how we put all the things together in the Scrum process. Next is Kanban. It's visualization management system that limits the number of work items in circulation. It's based on improved day-to-day decision making, deferral of commitment, and reduced lead times. Agile is all about increasing the flow of production. For example, if I am working on 2 to 3 projects at a time, it takes more time to complete at least one project to release. But if I focus on one project at a time, I can dedicate more attention and effort to it, so I could release it more faster, maybe in a week or in a month. This is the main principle of Kanban. Kanban focuses on 6 general practices. These are visualization, limiting work in progress, manage the flow, making places explicit, implement feedback loops, improve collaboratively, evolve experimentally. These are the 6 principles of Kanban. Now the first one, visualization. Kanban is most often used as visualization method and in Prince2 Agile. We will do this inside the context of our time box or within the time period. That's what it means. The next one is limiting work in progress. Kanban utilizes work in progress limits. Kanban also avoids scheduling work at specific times, and instead it relies on a pull system of demand. The main idea here is focus on 1 or 2 items at a time instead of 10 things or items simultaneously. That's the whole idea here. The third general practice of Kanban is managing a flow or manage the flow. It's focused on waste is removed as quick as possible. A team is being pulled into work based on the capability, desirability. This overall increases the flow and efficiency. The fourth general practice of Kanban is making places explicit. This policy will evolve over time and migrate. As a team, we're gonna look into products which is having more efficient and flow. The main idea with this policy is the team has a proper policy in place and they can make better decisions based on that. It springs to manage by exception. It creates increase in flow. That's the whole idea here. The fifth general principle of Kanban is implement feedback loops. This is really important. Its ability to learn from mistakes. The value being delivered is ultimately going to be judged by the final customer of the product. By this, we can make sure that the product is being delivered to the customer as quick as possible. This allows to get feedback from the customer so that we can make the next version even better. I will show an example after the sixth principle. So our sixth general principle of Kanban is improve, collaboratively, evolve, experimentally. The idea here is to build our own collaboration within our team so that they can be creative and try new things. Remember, the whole idea of Agile is teamwork and collaboration. Here, we're gonna try new things creative. If it's worthy, we'll try to implement in the product and at last will be released in the next version. That's the whole idea here. This time I'm gonna show you a real-time project which is used by Kanban. Suppose this is an Android project or Android app which is being used by millions of users. So when the app is being released, there are a lot of customer reviews. Based on that, they are making progress. Take a look at this customer review: not getting OTP, connection error, token not available. And after AD, they are going to make it a new version release, and they're gonna cover the mistake. So on the next day, it's having a new comment that, oh no problem, OTP is coming fastly. This is what in Kanban happens. As you can see on the screen, there's a small diagram which shows build, test, release, deploy, and what they are doing at each stage. In the build, they are doing is check out the code, run static analysis and testing, build images, push images to the registry. And the next stage is testing. In the test, install the release under test, confirm that it's running, and run all the functionalities. And always remove the release under the test when we build the project. So the next stage is release. Release is pull the image of release under test, tag the image at a specific release, tag the image at latest, push the images of the specific release, packages the chart, push the chart. These all things happen in the release stage. The deploy stage is upgrade the production release. It's a run production test. It's a rollback in case of failure. That's what the users is gonna try here, the exact product. That's what happens here. When we combine Scrum and Kanban, it gives Scrumban. Applications of Kanban where the underlying process is based on Scrum. That's what Scrumban. Policies may exist for similar work times as flow may be more predictive. To be more clear, for example, if I'm trying integration of Unity project into a native iOS or Android project, when I do it for the first time, may take more time or I may feel more complex. But if I try doing again and again, then I'll be better in doing that type of work, which means like more quickly and efficiently, and even my flow is gonna improve for that particular task. That's what it means. So this is Kanban all about. We have reached the last section of the lesson. It's night out here. So in this lesson, we're gonna talk about Lean Startup, Agile methodology to fail fast and learn fast, methodology for developing business and products. The concept is experimentation, iterative product releases, learning something very quickly based on failure and success, implementing those lessons on the next release. It's validated learning. That's the whole concept of Lean Startup. There are few key terms that you have to know. Among them, the first one is MVP or minimum viable product, a version of product that allows the team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning with least amount of effort. Example, if I want to build an app or application, I don't really want to program each and every functions and features to make that product before release. Instead, I'm gonna take core pieces into that software and release it and wait for the customer review or feedback. That's what it happens. We have to make our product as quick as possible to release. In order to make that, test fundamental business hypothesis known as leap of faith assumptions. This allows companies to determine quickly if an idea is really viable and worth and continued investment. The main concept of MVP is make some product quickly and release it, then gather information based on customer feedback. This product is based on experimented and prototype. That's what it means. Another example I can give in MVP is if I want to do an experiment with an online course based on project management. In traditional method, I have to write the entire course, film it, prepare the document and submit it online. In MVP, instead of doing all these things, just prepare a course trailer which is of 2 to 3 minutes or maybe 1 minute and make it online and available with a button linked to my website. So in this case, number of clicks to my website, I could take the number of counts. Based on demand, I could take decision whether to start the pro course or a project or invest money into it. This is the basic concept of MVP. Next, and the second key in lean startup is continuous development. First, I will release a software project with version 1, then goes to 2, then goes to 3, 4, maybe 5, likewise to a fully furnished, efficient product. So, in continuous development, produce something quickly, release it into the production, and gain feedback in order to iterate the next version. That's what it happens. Lean startup is extremely agile with release happening up to several times per day. In true lean startup, the idea is to release the things quickly and continuously. This method is infrequent release can be dangerous to the security of your information system. You may have to face a lot of issue if you don't have a proper testing in place. And the last one is another key to the lean startup is split testing or A/B testing. Different versions of product are created and offered in order to observe differences in behavior between customer groups. This is where you release two versions of your product both at same time to see which one performs better. Maybe I release two different courses video. I gonna see which one performs better. So I show half of the people one video, another half of the people another video. The whole idea is to observe the difference between the two products with different customer groups and make a clear idea. Testing occurs or testing should occur at same time to minimize variable during the test. The idea in lean startup is, as we discussed, build, measure, learn, cycle. This is often referred to as failure fast. Either fast failure or succeed fast. Either way, we gonna iterate and keep try to improve to release the next better version. That's what the whole idea and concept behind lean startup. This is the end of section 3. Next is section 4. We're gonna discuss about career paths in project management, certificates and online courses which involved in project management. What you have to do now is click the official website in the description below and complete the course after registration. You can also find materials and resources to download from our official website. Don't worry, we need you to register with us to provide you course completion certificate. Don't wait, tap the link below in video description. Thank you for watching.